once again to a cheery Marilyn, and she's cheerful because she's talking to me. Well, she's
I'm cheerful because I got the afternoon off. Woohoo!
first. There was a pregnant pause then. I don't, yeah, okay. But listen, we're going the deep end, and let's talk about a churchyard in Banbury, Oxford. Quite a famous church, actually, and it's used as a shortcut. And there was a big gang rape, what
Mhm.
else, seen there recently. And this makes, I've got to say, my blood boil. A cut through from the pub, so you well imbibed in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
A woman, as I repeat, was gang raped. And don't forget the police instructions. Come out with ethnicity, please. Straight away, don't hide it when you're reporting things. And yes, they did. I will quote you what they said. There was a white man involved. That was it. Now, if that's not two-tier
Well,
policing,
that is definitely two-tier. Yeah, there was about, I mean, no one is saying that white men don't do this, but proportionally, a heck of a lot more are ethnicity black,
yes, and showing
Pakistani, Bangladeshi, or any else you think of,
yeah,
or a migrant that's come in. Yes, white, we've got white creeps in our country, but predominantly these gang rapes and stuff like that, um, whether it's child sexual exploitation or gang rape, principally most heavily weighs on Pakistani and Bangladeshi and migrants.
they
You can't
need,
get away from it. You've only got to look at the mugshots on the papers.
yeah, they
You've only got
need
to read the names.
calling out, and we will call them out if nobody else does.
Absolutely. There's absolutely, you know, you don't see any sort of many Ben Smiths, do you? They're all, Asian names.
Well, yes, in a word. I tell you what, akin to this item in many ways is the reporting after the tragedy in Manchester outside the
Yeah.
synagogue and inside the synagogue. And the father, who is a surgeon,
Mm.
and he's, as I understand it, offering his services, I think, probably to the Red Crescent as a surgeon in the field, putting people together, which is a good thing. One thing that is not a good thing, although I can give him some free advice, don't try and come back in this country. Having A, named your son Jihad, what's that about? B, obviously influencing him and not being very politically correct in the way that the whole incident has been dealt with.
Yeah, and I mean, once you get little flashes on the news, don't you? Sometimes when I'm driving around, sometimes I hear bits, and it was like yesterday, I think it was, maybe the day before, and it actually said, the father, the doing a more of a deep dive into the family and the community and all the contacts, very much, I think, probably, although he says he didn't support it, but they were of that ilk,
Not
to,
talking about control, Marilyn. I mean,
oh, absolutely,
get hold of
absolutely.
this nurse. She becomes a Muslim, and they get married on the quiet. Nobody knows about it. And he treats her in the customary manner of the severe side of the Islamic revolution.
Mm.
So there we go. And it is a revolution. Beware, people
But
coming
I
from
still
down
don't
near you.
understand. I still don't understand how we are not bringing the women of these cultures out from the shadows and say, you are living in this country. This is against the law. We will support you. We will help protect you. Don't stay. So I'm having to do this all the time around where we live. I mean, we live near Luton, so about 10 miles from Luton. And, I've been into Muslim schools there and children's centres and stuff like that. And they are not so much the third generation ones, the ones that have been born here and are more westernized, but the others that come over, they're frightened of their own shadow and they won't speak out. And there was who was it the other day? There was some guy who had an Islamic wedding to a 15-year-old girl. I mean, so we know that happened. It's in the news. So why hasn't he been banged up or sent back?
Well, we don't want to upset them, do we? Because it'll kick off, perhaps, or we're afraid. Let me tell you a personal example. We have had over the last few months a number of carers help us get back more mobile, and one of them was a Muslim girl, and she was brilliant. And she'd done a runner from England because she'd got married to a Sunni and not a Shia. And her father said, right, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
She did a runner and she finishes up here, completely torn apart, tragic from top to bottom. And people just don't seem to realize what
No, they don't. I mean,
interpretation of Islam is.
no,
A lot of them follow it, maybe half in the United Kingdom. This, therefore, is a serious problem.
people don't understand in this country, even today, about how honor-based violence works. There's no honor in it, But I mean, I can remember going back now. I'm going back to probably 2011. So I'm going back probably to that time. And I had a lovely little Pakistani lady who was a volunteer in my shop. And she had been brought over here by her much older husband because it was a forced marriage. And she came over here to no contacts, no family, no nothing of her own. And she used to come in. One day particular, she was absolutely shaking from head to foot, and she was like, "Oh, the brothers are coming down tonight. The brothers, there's a meeting, and they're going to kill me." Pardon? What? Do you know they're going to kill? I thought, well, what have you? Oh, because she'd said something or done something wrong or something in their eyes. And she was absolutely terrified. And we then had a special constable that used to parade around the streets. This special constable spoke Punjabi and whatever her language was, and spoke to her. And then she said to me, "This is honor-based violence." And it was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "She's frightened because she has done something that is deemed not right or some form of disrespect in the eyes of this husband of hers who's old enough to be her granddad. And his brothers are going to come down and sort her out." She said, this is dangerous. I'm going to take her to the police station now and deal with it. I went, what? And that from that on, I then really researched it to find out what it was about. And I thought, crikey, I just couldn't believe it. And it does. You've only got to look at some of the, not the Crime Watch, but some of the real crime things on TV. And they'll stick them in suitcases. You see it all the time when a Pakistani, a Muslim woman goes missing or gets murdered. You think straight away, I'm like, honor-based violence. And it so often is, and still it goes on, and still it's kept under the radar. And this is so un-British. And people, I wish these women who are living in this country would trust us to actually look after them, because we don't go down this route and we would protect them.
Well, it's true. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet, because the trauma with this young lady was
No, it would be.
raw. And basically, eventually, she became almost like a daughter. And she regarded me as father because of what had happened. I spent most of my time looking after her,
Yeah.
and listening and psychologically treating her. Now, reverse that situation. Would I be treated the same way as a Christian in Pakistan?
No way.
That highlights exactly the difference between Christianity at its basic level and Islam. Now, this is not saying all Muslims are bad. She certainly wasn't. She's great, and a lot more like her. But they are.
I think a lot of the women are okay.
Of course, they are.
I really do.
They're held. But how do you break this thing?
Well, that's it. But the fear is so in them. It's like what they used to have that advert with Danish bacon, didn't it? It would have Danish all the way through the rind. Do you remember that? If it's Danish bacon, and it is like a stick of rock, really. You've got the name of the all the way through them, and to try and break that, especially if you are first generation, if you come over here and you don't really, but none to say you've got third generation people that are whose family, Uncle Bulgaria and that lot, are still firmly adamant about, if a white man talks to you or whatever, or you're, going to get divorced, then you brought shame on the family. I don't know why they call it honor-based violence, because it couldn't be less honorable. But it's not only that, they get killed in the most barbaric ways as well. I mean, there's a charity called True Honor, and that came from the fact that the one lady, Muslim lady, was a police officer, and she was really worried. It's a true story, and she's written a book about it. And I've met her, and it was a true story that she was worried about her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law wanted to leave the brutal husband, and she just got this feeling as a police officer something odd was going on in the family, and she really believed that this sister-in-law was going to be taken to Pakistan by the mother-in-law and the husband, and that she was never coming back. And she really thought this was true. Anyway, off they toddled to Pakistan, and no, she didn't come back. And she worked in the same department as Clive Driscoll, who was the chief inspector who dealt with the Stephen Lawrence case. And he was the only copper that actually believed her. And again, you're going back 15, 17 years, actually believed that they probably had taken this woman to Pakistan. And yes, when they investigated, she'd been murdered. And the mother-in-law and the then husband, they're still in prison. They're still in prison, but nobody believed her. Nobody believed her apart from Clive Driscoll.
No, another world.
It is another world. It is another world. It's a subculture that is in this country, like almost like the rape gangs and all this behavior. Like somebody must have known that 15-year-old girl had been married off to a man of 45. I
Yes.
mean, it's horrific. I mean, why aren't well, I suppose we haven't got enough police, have we? But and of course, if you're in a neighborhood that's principally Muslim, then of course no one's going to split on you, are they? I mean, you do have these ghettos, and there's no point in. I heard Robert Jenrick speaking today at the conference, and people will go where their culture is. I mean, he's going on about, oh, I've been to Birmingham, never saw a white person, and but if you look at that area in Manchester, that was known to be the Jewish community. You could go to Golders Green; it would be exactly the same. There's in Milton Keynes, there's an area that is. You've only got to look at the white people, English people that go abroad, expats. They will get near where other expats are living. I mean, of course you would, because you want to be able to speak your own language, have the same humor, eat the same sort of food. And I mean, why is it any different when they come here?
Chips with everything. Yeah, okay, we move on to Burberry. Burberry. How posh is Burberry? They're in trouble. Their sales have taken a real dip. And we have mentioned this on another program, but it's worth mentioning again because it comes out that people are not buying what they used to do, thanks to Mr. Williams, who's just got the Spanish Archer, the elbow from his job as a DEI expert.
Oh,
Oh, you
right.
sources.
We all need one of them.
We all need one of them. Well, the Donald in America doesn't, but still, a lot of our companies, even the top earners,
Yeah.
Burberry, they've been training. I'll substitute the word training for brainwashing about unconscious bias.
Yeah.
They're getting desperate, unconscious. Hang on, where does that hold together? Well, it doesn't. Anyway, they've seen the light. They've got rid of him. They've looked over the water to Trump, and Trump won't give anything to any company that the state requires. They might need 1,000 bedpans for their hospitals or whatever. No, if you're a DEI company, diversity, equity, inclusion, I'm not dealing with you till you learn common sense.
Well, this is it.
What Trump
I mean,
did.
I don't know. I don't blame him because if there is someone that is better able to do the job, and they might be a black person, they might be a Muslim, they might be Chinese, they might be better. It's the best that comes through that door is the best for the job. And you can't, and I know it's going on in the NHS and I know it's going on in the police that, white people now don't see the point of applying because they know they won't be. And that is prejudiced against us. And all this sort of, yeah, I mean, unconscious bias has been around for ages, isn't it? I mean, about your, and it's actually quite, um, you can easily find yourself doing it, can't you?
Oh, yes, if you're not
It's
careful,
very, you do have to check yourself because
go along
it's,
with the crowd.
it's very
Wait,
easy to jump to some conclusion that you've worked out in your own mind
uh,
that actually is unconscious bias. And then you think, oh, wow, that's a bit judgmental. I shouldn't have thought like that.
oh,
I
no,
mean,
no, no, exactly. Well, he's already struck, has Mr. Trump, at the civil service. Get rid of that. I'm not having a civil service like that. There will be no more. And now, with outsourcing of stuff for the government, he's done it again. And it's the only way to treat these people.
it's his. You have to axe people. You can't,
No,
if it's not working, it's not working.
no, it's called conscious bias.
It's
All of
exactly,
it.
that's exactly right.
We keep mentioning the Pink Ladies because they're a bit of hero of mine anyway. And Starmer now has officially christened them as far right. Now, I don't know where Genghis Khan comes on this picture, whether it's Genghis Khan's mother-in-law that is truly far right, but certainly our Pink Ladies aren't.
Ladies are just standing up for basically the rights of their children and safety for women and safety for their children. They're not far right. He is obsessed with if you don't agree with him, you're far right, basically, aren't you?
Hmm.
That's basically what you're not allowed an opinion. You're not allowed an observation. No, you're far right. It's just ridiculous. He makes himself look an absolute plonker, quite honestly. I
Yeah.
mean, Jenrick, I don't know if you've heard of any Jenrick speech. I mean, he's really laid into it. And then
Yeah.
then he did a bit of this is how clever our Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy is about when he went on Mastermind. And one of his questions was, who came after Henry VIII? And he said Henry VII. You couldn't make it up, could you?
It's logical in his brain anyway.
He hadn't got one.
Oh dear. Right. We're about, as everybody knows, in the United Kingdom to provide barracks for the immigrants. They're kicking off some at Rotten.
Don't come then.
I want me four-star hotel. I don't want a barracks.
Well, go on the boat, go back.
Yes, there's the
I mean,
boat.
it's simple. If you don't like it, bye.
Well, I'm saying there's the boat, but let me tell you what happens to all these rubber ducks when they come over. They're parked, usually in Dover, and then there's a lorry comes along, puts them on board a big transport lorry, and they're taken back to France.
Well, then they can put the migrants in them as well, then, can't they?
Yeah,
Because
remigrate.
they get these boats, I read the other day, they get these boats for £1,000 from China.
Yep.
That's where they're all being made. And then they're going to be going for bigger boats. But if you don't like it, one of those lorries can take you all back. No one wants you here. So, what do you think? And that's the trouble, you see. They have been sold this dream, haven't they? And therefore, well, I was told I go into a hotel, and now you're putting me in an army barrack. That's not the agreement. That you can almost hear them saying it because they bought into an idea, which they thought was not an idea because they'd have been sold it by the traffickers. They'd have been sold it as the actual truth. This is what happens. But now we're changing tack. They're going to kick off. Well, I mean, the trouble is, it's just going to make people more angry. Well, go away then. That's the whole idea. You don't like it, so now you cannot come.
Let's move on to Telford. Ardell Ali, the monster of
Ugh,
Telford. I mean, he's been committing rape for donkey's years, and
yeah,
eventually he got a 26-year sentence. He's out after 8 years.
it's dreadful. And is he going to be deported? Does it say?
No.
So, well, I mean, he'll do it again, won't he? I mean,
Yes.
that's the. I mean, that is outrageous. I mean, I saw that the other day, and I mean, what about the victims? I mean, those people are probably still living down in Telford. They're going to bump into him again because a lot of the people that have served time around Rotherham, Rochdale, all these other places, Oxford. And some of the ones that are taxi drivers, they don't have their license taken away, or oh no, they're back driving their taxis again. Well, that shouldn't be allowed. You know, it's absolutely awful. It's
One
dreadful.
strike and out,
But
please.
what is annoying is that Starmer, when he was doing this early release scheme, yeah, and up pops charities and people that say, you know, well, hang on a minute, who exactly are you going to let out? Oh, it's not going to be violent offenders, sex offenders, or child abusers, and that's exactly who's coming out.
Exactly.
You know, at the weekend, it actually said that. I mean, they said it when he first thought of doing it, but now it's, and I wrote to my MP about it, and I still am waiting for a reply on that one. So I probably need to write to him again.
Yes,
I
no
mean,
harm in that. A timely reminder. Well, we
but
think
we are becoming a frighteningly dangerous society.
we are, and people are recognizing that. People are not coming to our capital because it's not
I
safe.
don't go there. Did you see the thing about all the mobile phone thefts? You know that, I mean, but to be honest, people are stupid. I mean, they do walk around, they come out the tube and they've got their phone in their hand. I have got one of these. And I bought one of these to hang my phone on because I thought, well, if I wear that round my neck, under my jacket, whatever, it's got metal and it's going to be harder to cut through if so. And I also keep it close to me. But if you're coming out of a tube station and you're like this, you've only got to knock into someone and it's off, you know, or I've seen people
This is
just
what
stick it.
amazes me about Matt Goodwin's promo for GB News. He's seen walking down a high street in London with a phone.
Yes,
A
yeah,
man of courage, obviously. Listen, what we're
unbelievable.
talking about courage. What happens with if a motorcyclist comes past you, that's round your neck, you're going to get strangled.
Well, I mean, you wear it. I wear it under a coat, or I wear it. You know, I mean, or you could have it in your hand, but if it's around your body, you're not. I mean, my daughter used to have it like her handbag. I mean, when she's in Bermuda, of course, there are safest houses over there. But sometimes they wear these stupid little handbags, and the phone is just sitting on the top. Or a friend of mine got hers stolen by leaving it on a table. They were ordering their meal and her phone was on the table, right? Nothing like this at all, just like that. And someone came up and like took the order. And then she went, "Oh, my phone's missing." And it wasn't a waitress at all. They put the menu on top, wrote down what they wanted, and as she removed the menu, she took the phone with her and went.
Clever, aren't they?
They're very clever. I had my beautiful handbag stolen when I was in a coffee shop outside in Lisbon years ago. And this guitar player turned up and a couple of chaps were with him and they went and sat down. And funnily enough, Roger said, something odd about him. There's something not right about him. And I stupidly, it was a beautiful bag I had as well. I had stupidly like just put it down beside me and it had gone, my wallet, everything, my passport, the whole dollar. I mean, and you know what it's like. You have to have your ID and everything, don't you, in Portugal? And it was, I mean, none of the coppers helped me at all. I felt sick. I felt sick. And, you know, another friend of mine, he went on the vernacular railway in Lisbon. That's when it was working. And he had those cargo pants. You know, you have the trousers with the zips halfway on the thigh, and he felt somebody push him on the in the cabin thing, and this person has sliced through the pocket and just taken the contents of it. I mean, pickpockets are they're so clever, they're so sharp. You've got to be sharper. But the phone thing, I think people are so laissez-faire about their phones. They never think
Your,
it's going to happen to
your
them.
whole life can be on that phone. And
Yeah.
it will be soon with the ID thing, of course.
Oh God.
So that's another measure we've got to go through.
Yeah. And how
How
many
many
billions is
people
that going to
ever get
cost?
there? It's nearly 3 million people
That's ridiculous.
signing
Absolutely.
the
I mean,
objection.
the thing is, Rodney, it's not going to stop people who earn cash because
No.
the people that pay cash now for workers are going to continue to pay cash. I mean, it's ridiculous. How he thinks that's going to stop it is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it's not
And what about
paying.
young people? There's a whole load of people that don't have digital. Some elderly people don't have iPhones, smartphones. Some don't have the internet or laptops. I mean, what are they supposed to be doing? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just stop them coming in the first place.
Well, if any doubts, go to Oklahoma in America.
Oh, what do they do over there?
Well, nothing to do with phones, it's marijuana. America is different in many ways because you've got laws pertaining to a particular state, then you've got the federal laws that everybody has to behave in the required manner. So there's a lot of, it's like having all the states, 50 of them, like Scotland and Wales. They've got their own, we thought we had problems, way of controlling the inmates to those counties or states, as it is in America. And they've decided to get very, very easy on marijuana. It grows like it does in the south of Spain, wild. Put some lamps in there for the winter time, and you've got massive crops.
Mm.
And it's all right for them to say, oh, we need this for medical purposes. Okay, let Big Pharma do things like this, not you. Because what's happened, it's turned out, is that mafia have moved in. Now the laws have got relaxed and they are making millions, literally. There's gang warfare, there's murders.
Oh, yeah.
It's turned out significantly that 85%, and there are now 6,000 farms reduced to 2,000. All they've done is make the 2,000 bigger. So there's 2,000 farms there. 85% of their workers are Chinese. They're literally plants because China works this way.
Yeah.
Oh dear, but you're bound to get this happens when you put and taste anything near a drug. And
Mm.
it is a drug.
Oh,
Might not
yeah.
be okay, but it is a drug.
I do wish the farmer people did do something that was okay for people with certain medical conditions. They say that my little granddaughter was one yesterday, as you know. She's made the day that they all never thought she would, and she's a little sweetheart, as you know. I sent you photos, but one of her little people that she knows is 7, and I think I said the other day they put him on cannabis, and now he's walking. He's walking, but I mean, how you do that, it would be so much better if it was medically done. If
Yeah,
the farmer
it's not
would
the one has to point out it's not the drug, the misquoted recreational drug.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I
Like
mean,
there are,
it'd be good if the pharmacology people actually did produce something that was okay to be given medically. Because I said to my daughter, I mean, my daughter-in-law, I said, how on earth did the mother know how much to give him? Was she just that nothing else was working? Everything had stopped working. All the stuff for the epilepsy and the seizures had stopped. So she thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. But I think that takes a lot of courage because, gracious, I mean, if anything bad had happened, but I mean, I do wish there was because there
yeah,
must
she
be
could find.
something in it. There is something in it that is for certain conditions a helpful thing to have. But I think it just needs that.
Well, fully understand her terrible position, but she could well be in the doo-doo.
Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? You see, that is the problem. I would be worried because I was also talking when it was her birthday yesterday. I went out with my son and daughter-in-law and the little baby, and we have a friend. Peter's friend married this girl, and her younger brother, so she's now 40, he's now 36. And he's not cerebral palsy, but he had something similar to that, and he's always been in a wheelchair. And he's still getting seizures. And she said, "Oh, Mum, why don't you put him on this?" But the mother is rightly worried, because if she did and something happened, then yeah, she'd be done for homicide, wouldn't she?
Very
I
likely.
do think that it would be great if the people that dream up and create all the medications could look into it as being, what is it that is so helpful for certain conditions?
Yeah, well, it's built on how I can make a book. And
Oh,
the
yeah,
quicker the
yeah,
book, the
yeah,
better. That's
yeah.
probably what's behind it. Anyway, we move on. And I've got a question for you.
Oh dear.
I expect an immediate answer. Yes. Where are the Muslims following the dreadful event in Manchester? Where are they marching or are they not? Where are the imams and what are they saying about this? Where is the Muslim Council of Britain?
Okay, absolutely right.
The
Absolutely right. But
administrators.
where's any church leader? Where's anyone? Where's any of them? No one comes out and says anything. But if you're thinking about the marches, I don't understand why. I know we have a right to protest here, but why can't they, when it's London, why can't they contain it in Hyde Park? So they're not roaming around the streets. Because I know people, I won't go into London anymore, but I know people actually on Saturday now, they won't go in. Well, why would you want to? You could get a bunch of like really aggressive people that got tanked up in the local pub, waving their flags, covering them. You wouldn't want to go in there with your young children. I don't think it's fair either on the shopkeepers and the bars, because people must be staying away. They must be staying away because of the threat of violence. And if they stop them in Hyde Park, get them just walking around Hyde Park and get the cameras there and contain them there, then keep them off the streets or even limit the number.
Or even suggest that they should have better things to do.
Well,
I'm
quite.
in
I mean,
favour
I
of.
do think it was appalling that the day after the terrorist attack, that they just carried on. I do think, really, for one day, for one week, can't you just have some respect?
Marilyn, they were almost gloating at these.
Oh yeah, and also some of them, again, it's the renter mob lot, isn't it? They don't really care.
So,
They're just, oh, good, we've got another punch up coming on. What flag shall we wave this week?
yeah,
They're not really interested in the actual what's going on.
and
They are
who
people
is
that,
paying us this week to do what we're going to do?
yeah, they're the people that kick it into something else.
Right. Thought she'd answer that one. Spain's blackout. Oh dear. Remember this time last year we had a blackout
Yes,
longer than anybody's ever had in the world.
yes.
And they, like Britain, will have a commission to find out. There'll be a quick commission, which is just reported, and a slow one that will report next year, end of, no doubt. And reading the newspaper introduction to what's happened, everybody said and knew it's quite easy what's happened to explain. There was too much sun and too much wind all at the same time, and it blew the system up. And that's a fact. But having said that and admitted it, they said immediately, it's not that. We found out it wasn't that. And the full report I read.
And what is it? What was it?
It was confirming that it was a big blow up throughout Spain, spread to Portugal, bit in France, bit in Italy. But they have sophisticated systems elsewhere in Europe
Yeah.
that will attenuate a surge. In Spain, oh, it'll do. Mañana, I'm going to be in trouble, aren't I? They'll throw me out.
Okay, Pedro,
Yes.
we'll
And
get through it.
but we learned this when we were broadcasting from mountaintops, our channel down here, terrestrially. We put big transmitters in there, and we had batteries that would last a week
Yeah.
if the electricity supply failed. Now, all the telephone masts, which don't take anywhere near our power, had got batteries that lasted 4 hours. What? Now, that shortcut, I'm afraid, it don't work. Reading the report, it confirmed what everybody knows. You cannot get a system that has not what they call, I said it's attenuation. It's smoothing out the strength of a particular voltage coming through to
Right. Yeah.
bar in a substation, wherever that is in the country or even another country. That's what happened, and it's what happens regularly. That's why we have the privilege in the United Kingdom of paying £1 billion a year to close down and compensate the windmills when they produce and their ownership produces too much power.
Yeah.
Shut it down and we'll pay you, which is an utter disgrace. But having read this article, and again, all it said all the way through, it's not the fault of the Greens. And you think Green isn't brainwashing? This proved it to me more than anything. It is brainwashing. It's crackers. It's daft. It's OTT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
CO2 is good for you. It helps the planet grow.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. The
look
thing
at-
they should never have done was cut down the rainforests. The rainforests are the lungs of the world. And you start, chopping those down. I mean, I can remember going back, when was it now? I'm going back 30 years, 27, 30 years. And Sting wrote this amazing musical called Yanomamo. And it was on the plight of the Yanomamo indigenous Indians, if you like, in the Amazon rainforest, and how their lifestyle and everything was being burnt down by the burning of the rainforest. And I mean, it was an extraordinary musical. It was fantastic. But, that many, but like 100 football pitches in size every day, and they're still doing it. And it's the same in Borneo, isn't it, as well? I mean, we keep burning these things down. I wish people would just, yes, all right, you've got environment, you've got plastics in the ocean, which is actually dreadful, all sorts of stuff like that, absolutely awful. But where you're talking about your air, if you are going to upset ecology and the environment, that side of the environment, by chopping down rainforests, you are going to cause a problem. They are the lungs of the world, and people, read up on rainforests.
Can I give you a task? Do it this weekend. What a good idea. Get through to your internet provider, Mr. Google or who else, and type in, get me a NASA picture 50 years old of the Earth. Then get me a NASA picture today. You will see how much greener we are today because of CO2, and it's feeding more people, providing a real lifeline. This is nonsense from top to bottom and is being proved so. People who are zealots, Mr. Miliband, I hope.
Don't get me started on him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if anybody's seen his speech at the Labour Party conference,
I did, yes.
What's the matter with that man? What's he on?
I know.
Give me some as well. Anyway, we've got the situation now. We've got to rely on what our government tell us, because this is the government spin in Spain, which is extremely left-wing, makes our government look almost right-wing. But no, they are dreadful. And they're coming out with this gaslighting the whole time. More than 50% of wind and solar panels are providing the power for Spain. Oh, aren't we good? Well, we are until we get it wrong. And then catastrophe. That's all the good we've done as it is. Right, quickly on. Time goes. Are you tired of listening to lies?
Yes.
You're a dope, aren't we all? When you hear a program about Israel, Gaza, and the Palestinian situation. Because all we hear all the time is that there are 300,000 deaths in Gaza. Right. Where did you get those figures from?
Well, actually, why isn't it 293 and 151?
That's a giveaway. Well, I'll tell you where they got them from. They got them from Hamas. And these are serious newspapers and television and radio broadcasters. Those are Hamas's figures. Right. A lot of children have been killed. Correct. Not as
Correct.
many of their figures are saying, but why have they been killed? Because they've been
They're
used
bombing schools.
human shields.
Yeah,
Put them in
exactly.
the front line. They won't fire
Exactly.
at them.
They must think we're stupid.
Well,
I mean,
exactly.
it's so transparently obvious what's going on. I mean, it's crazy. And who's going to believe anything that Hamas says? And where do they? I mean, how do you come up with a figure of 300,000? I mean, you might say approximately, or in the region of, but not 300,000. And with all the chaos and the bombing and the rubble and this, that, how do you count those dead bodies? There must still be loads under the rubble that are still there rotting.
Yes.
You can't count how many.
It is a horrible situation.
It is a horrible situation,
All
but
the
I
blame
don't.
to be put on Israel is absolutely disgraceful.
It is absolutely disgraceful. But again, though, what do they say? It's genocide. Well, all right. Well, that's pretty obvious to see. No, and what then? So it's and what? It's genocide, and then what? Who's going to do what? Who's going to be in a court? Can't see
Can we
that
have
happening.
the truth, please? Again, it comes back to our lying politicians.
Mm,
And people, again, are hoodwinked and conned. Whenever you hear a politician not answering the question,
Oh God.
going on to another question in his own mind and answering what he thought the interviewer had said, that is a lie.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
why
you
is it
could
a
say
lie?
you
Because
could say
you're deliberately hiding the truth.
if you are evasive with the truth, you are telling a lie. I used to say this to my ex-husband. He would be economic with the truth. Well, then that's a lie because what you're saying is deceiving. It's deceptive. You're not being honest. And the one I can't wait to see is how many times have different Labour politicians been asked, and are you going to do anything with VAT in the budget? And they don't say the word no. They all say, we're sticking to our manifesto. Well, if you're sticking to your manifesto, why can't you say no?
Yeah.
You've heard what I've said. We're sticking to the manifesto.
It's the first time they are sticking to their manifesto.
Well, exactly. But let's see if they do, because they won't. When it's, are you going to change anything with VAT? They don't say no. They say we are sticking to our manifesto. It's been wheeled out like the public PR line. Do you know what I mean? They won't, none of them. And even when they're pushed to say, well, why don't you just say no? I've just said we're sticking to our manifesto. There's something very sinister going on there.
Let me
Rachel
go.
from accounts will do something, you wait.
Yeah, but let me go to something even more ridiculous, if you like. The lovely Greta.
Oh, do you know what? I was just going to say about her. What are they all applauding her? She's a nutter.
Well, the people behind her are not nutters. They're just cunning and devious. They've got another PR stunt going at the moment. As everybody knows, let's get a little flotilla together and try and go to Gaza and deliver medical and food.
She hasn't
Until,
achieved anything yet, has she?
well, no, they boarded the boats, didn't they?
Yeah.
The Israeli troops, and they found nothing at all. And they said, go back, you're in dangerous waters here. And of course, they didn't. So they ploughed on to deliver nothing because it was all a stunt.
Of course.
And they arrested them and put Greta in a holding centre, let's call it. Some people said it was a prison. And then the bedbugs got at Greta. mess her little body up. And yeah. And apart from that, she complained that she was permanently psychologically damaged because she was in prison.
Oh,
Well, if
I
you're
think she
not
was,
permanently
frankly, I think she was before she even did the flotilla.
if you're not psychologically damaged, if you're in prison, then there's something wrong with you. Anyway, they've let her out. And this article, which is from a local newspaper here, was bemoaning the fact of this poor Greta lady on the spectrum. How dare they treat her this way? And there was an acknowledgement at the end of the article that says, our thanks go out to the Guardian newspaper UK. And I thought, yeah, that fits, doesn't it?
Oh,
Beware
yeah,
not only of what you read, folks, but where it comes from.
where it comes from, absolutely. So you go back to the whole thing about AI again, don't you? And where did you get your research from?
Yeah.
Oh no, she's an irritant, I think. I don't see that she achieves anything. I think most people do the eye roll. Oh God, not her again.
Well, it's amazing. Anyway, we'll go out and we'll cheer you up. This is cheering up Marilyn time to speed her on her way. I've worried being in a very cosmopolitan community here on the south coast of Spain. We get everybody coming here. Usually they got a bit of brass to survive here. It is not the cheapest of areas, but because we've got the best weather in Europe, etc., people come here. And mind you, think it's not the best weather when it's 40 odd degrees, but the rest of the year is fine. Okay, where'd you get the name on that car from? Have you noticed the names on the back of these cars? The car manufacturers, usually foreign car manufacturers, in other words, not made in UK in this instance. I'll give you an example. There's one called the Dacia or Dacia, as it's
That's
called.
it,
Yeah. Duster.
Oh yes, yes.
They call a car a Duster. Did they realise?
Yeah, we got a few of them over here. Yeah, yeah.
Now, apparently they're not a bad car, but I wouldn't drive a car called a Duster, but they're not a bad car, very cheap. But who would buy a car called Duster?
When we do our speed watch, and there's a guy that there's four of us. You have to do it. One's doing the speed and the time of the offence. Somebody else is doing the registration plates, and we get the guy to do the type of car, color and type of car, right? And he's always saying, "What's that one that's just driven past? Why would you call it that?" And we're going, I wonder what, like, they're coming through our village, like it's supposed to be 30 miles an hour. Safely, you shouldn't be going over 20, but they're whizzing through at 40, 45 miles an hour. And he's clicking his camera all the time. And he goes, this one, look at what this one's called. I went, I really wouldn't know, but there are some very strange names, I have to say. I don't know who makes them up.
Well, they don't do the local research, and I've got some illustrations.
Right.
Some of them are a bit naughty. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, of course.
Yeah.
Their favourite phrase is finger licking. Now, they opened in China and found out that nobody's eating this stuff because
I'm not surprised. I think it's disgusting.
always finger licking stuff, because apparently translated is eat your fingers off. Well, that doesn't really go down well, does it? So they thought, oh, we'll have to alter that. Well, you'd have thought some department at head office, whether it be in Kansas or Oklahoma, would have decided, let's look at what it's called. The favourite one, of course, we've always known about for donkey's years in Spain is Bum Chris and Damn Beer. And they still call them that because they're stubborn, the Spanish. So if you want some Bum Chris and Damn Beer, you can still buy them.
Can you still get over their bonker coffee?
Yes, you can. And they're not budging there, right, you see. Okay, we move on. We stay with cars in one respect. Mitsubishi have got a nice vehicle called the Pajero, and it sells well worldwide, except in South America, where they speak Spanish most of the places. There's been a massive slump in sales. The translation in vernacular Spanish is tosser. So would you drive a? That's it. I'd sooner drive a car with duster on the back, I think. Anyway, so they've had to change the name there with good reason.
You're being funny. I mean, surely someone in their PR department or advertising must work that out.
No, obviously not. I shall proceed. Schweppes tonic water was great until it hit Italy. And the translation again is toilet water. So that didn't sell very well until they caught on. There is a US airline, by the way, that whose motto is fly in leather. Obviously, the seat are made out of a bit posher than the ordinary aircraft. That translated in many countries means fly naked.
Oh, lovely. Well, maybe they do in the Mile High Club.
Oh,
But my daughter-in-law her name is Elizabeth, right? She hates it. So she's always been known as Biz or Bizzle. And her parents worked in Oman for a while. And when everybody's going around saying Bizzle, people would look, apparently it means tits.
well, that's a good idea. Oh, my goodness me. The last one, of course, is Claire Knowles, who apparently make a mist stick. It's for curling your hair.
Right.
It sold well worldwide until it went to Germany and translated it's crap. So that didn't do it. But would not you think these clever executives, overpaid like footballers, would at least do some of their homework?
Well, you would do it. But you see, I can remember as a little girl, though, you used to, and you still get it now, though, don't you? Eau de toilette. Well, that is toilet water. They haven't changed the name. I mean, I've often comically thought, well, you'd think by now someone would have changed it to like scented water or something like that.
Never trust the French, yeah.
Where they got it from, eau de toilette, eau de bidet.
No. Where are we going to get our next prime minister from? That's what the French should be worried about. And
Yes.
that's more than a day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I wonder how long our new archbishop will last for. Only taking a year to get one.
We've covered that, but there's more to come, I'll tell you, but I won't tell you this week. Time has gone. Well,
Okey-doke.
have a nice week.
And you, and talk to you all later. Again, every day it's another pile of news.
It is. See you next time.
Well, it's the end of the conference season, so that's a relief.
Thank goodness for that, because we can get some decent presenters back who are all
Exactly.
in the conference.
Yeah.
Those that are manning the studio, maybe are not of the type that would be an anchor in studio. Let's be charitable.
I do miss Ben Leo. I mean, he's doing well in Washington, but I do miss
Isn't he
him.
just?
He's very good. He's very good. I miss him. He's good. But they are all good. Alex Armstrong's good. Patrick Christie's back in the saddle. So, yeah, they're good. And they've won top media station for 3 months now.
Yes. Well, it's what happens when you get pregnant, Patrick. You've got to learn these lessons. There's a cost to all this. And I go on. I've got a little sheet of paper. I've got to mention this one because it'll wind you up. No, it won't. Everybody knows the birth rate in Britain is appalling. It's 1.4 and falling. Among the indigenous whites, it's 2 point odd and increasing among our immigrant and most of them illegal friends. But when it comes down to it, it is a decision that white indigenous people are now making. It has been worked out by a very good survey, even though it's come from a university. It is very thorough, that if you are a normal couple these days, wife has been working, I'm pregnant, that's good. It will cost you in the first 5 years £64,500. Do you really want to be pregnant?
Well,
It's making people think twice.
well, I think the state of the world makes people think twice at the moment.
That doesn't help.
No, not at all. Anyway, let's go.
And there we go. We've lit the blue touch paper as we usually do, and
Yeah.
we're not quite finished on a fun item, but almost. See you shortly.
See you shortly. Bye bye.